Hello, people of YouTube, and here we are on about MERCS, but not MERCS as you know it. Oh no, we are on about MERCS Conflict, which is a dice game. But don't go away! Please do not go just because it is a dice game. Unlike most dice games, you don't have to go through boosters and the like to actually get the dice you want. You have them in the main game itself. So, without further ado, let's see what you get in the box. So, anyway, you get 4 faction sheets. You get EU ink, just give you a bit of an overview of what the artwork is like and whatnot. We have CCC, we have FCC, which technically is FCC House 9. And finally we have USCR. A lot of C's, I think you'll see, if you do. So what else do we have? Well, being a die, we have the main rule sheet. It's got 8 pages in total. Shows you a little bit of an advertisement for MERCS 2nd edition rulebook. Oh yeah! And when that comes out, and when the recon comes out, we'll be doing a lot of videos for those. You get idiot sheet, which is idiot sheets, which are on a board, but you can clip them out for the different meanings of the dice. So this is for, camera's going down a bit, for leadership, for economic, for espionage, for military, and for political. And both double-sided, saying the same thing. And also in that sheet where you pop out, you also get lock tokens. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. So enough for 2 people. You also get a D10. Nothing special about this D10, it's just a nice black one. Move the camera back a little bit. You also get a D6, a nice black one. I don't think I've seen many nice black dice, which is a shame. Excuse my little slurping. You also get a load of different coloured dice. You get these browny grey ones, which are your economic dice, with different symbols on them. You also get your blue ones, which are your espionage dice. You also get your green dice, which are your political dice. I'll just bring that to camera so it sees them properly. You also get your red dice, which are your military dice. Good grief, they're not shown up that well on camera, are they? If I turn the lights off, that might help it. Ah, there we go. And finally we have the economic dice, which are yellow. It's actually shown it a bit brighter on camera. They are a kind of sickly greeny yellow. Well, not sickly yellow, that'd be a bit daft. But a off yellow, I suppose is the right term some people use. And then we have 2 leadership die. Now, if you've played MERCS before, in the miniatures game, you'll know that you are working for a corporation, being all corporation-y and trying to stop other corporations from being all corporation-y. However, in conflict, you are the big cheese of said corporation. Now, they might do some more, but at the minute they've only got 4. So they might do Keizawaza, Sadafu, House 4, it was LISS, who else have I missed? Texaco and the like. But they've only got 4 for now. At the minute it's only a 2-player game, but I'd imagine when the dice do come out properly, you'd be able to buy dice for a 4-player game. As some of the rules of some of the dice and whatnot work. Now the basics of it is whoever has the most dice win at the end of 10 turns. That's one way to win. The other way is to make sure your opponent can't put any dice in his resource sector. Now that might sound a bit confusing, what's resource sector? I shall explain that in a little moment. Now this is the Kickstarter version. You can actually buy this from the Megacon Games web store or from anywhere that sells it. This did come mid-January, so mid-time this month. So, whoop, camera's travelling. Bad camera. Yeah, so I got it mid-Jan, but well, actually early January. That's probably a better thing to say. Early January. Living in the UK, considering how Megacon did things with Myth, they have seemed to be better at get things out when they say they're going to get things out. So, I'll just show you the basics of each game, the basics of the game, and what I think of it. This is $50, so about 25, I think, 25 quid, plus $16 shipping if you're abroad. So, if we come on to the player board, I'm using EU Ink as an example. So here's the basic board. You have at the side here your corporate abilities. Each faction has 2 different ones. EU Ink has deep pockets, which allow you to get rid of 2 dice to buy a infrastructure dice. And executive training, you get to get rid of 4 resources to buy your leadership dice back. Because once you've used your leadership dice, which is this white one, unless you've got an ability, you can't get it back. Zoom the camera out a little bit there. So on the player board, you have different sectors. You have your reserve sector. Your leadership dice goes there, as indicated by the white triangle, and any other dice that say put it in reserve. So say that goes in reserve, you put that there. We also have the resource sector. Different factions have different resource sectors. For instance, EU Ink has 6, USCR has 5, CCC has 6, FCC has 5. You then go on to, if I just move the camera over a little bit, the corporate sector, which has where you put your infrastructure dice when starting the game. The little yellow triangles will tell you where you put them to start with. So, for instance, EU Ink would put 2 in political, which is the green one. 1 in espionage, which is the blue one. 2 in economic, which is the grey or brown one. And 2 in military, which is the red one. Now, if you notice on economic, there's a little blacked out grey browny triangle. That means you put one dice of that means you put one dice of that colour at the start of the game. So I'd place one of them there. So that's the basic setup for EU Inc. Again, other factions have different number of dice to set up with in different areas, so that's how they go on. They have different numbers of coloured dice they can have up to. So when, for instance, EU Inc. runs out of political dice slots they can put in, where they can only have 3, you can't have any more political dice. Same for espionage. They can have 5 economic dice, well, 5 dice in economic and 3 dice in military, but they can only have dice of that colour. So here we have at the bottom the leverage ability, which comes up if you roll a economic dice. Zoom out a little bit, which comes up on a economic dice with this symbol. So if you roll that, you get that. And then we have the MERC ability, MERC contract ability, should I say, which if you have a military dice and you roll the MERC face. You call him MERC face. So at the start of the game, another thing is your spent pool, which is at the bottom of your sheet. So at the beginning of each turn, what you do is you choose any number of resources from your corporate sector to put into your resource sector. So I'll put, say, them 4 in there. If you do not have any dice in your corporate sector, you lose the game. If you don't have any dice you can put in your resource sector, you lose the game. So no dice in here, you lose the game. No dice you can put in here, you lose the game. So when we've both decided how many dice and what sort of dice we are putting in each area, sorry, in the resource sector, we both roll the dice. So with that I got 2, 2, 1 and a 2. Now to see who goes first, you first see who's got the most dice in their resource sector. If you've got 5 and your opponent's got 4, then you go first. If it's a tie, then it goes on to who's got the most of coloured dice. So if I've got say a green, a blue and a red, and your opponent's only got a green and a red, then I'll go first. If it's a tie, then it goes to whoever's got most dice of a certain colour. Sorry, whoever's got dice of a certain colour. So say if your opponent's got a green and I've got a red and yellow with every others, your opponent go first, because political, I'll just zoom in the camera a little bit, political trump economic, economic trump, espionage trump economic, and economic trump military. So it goes in that order. If your opponent's got green and you've got blue, then your opponent goes first. So say I was going first, what could I do? I could use ability on dice, so say I didn't roll that but rolled that instead, or say I got a blue dice and rolled that, or a espionage dice, sorry, or a political dice and I rolled that. I could use those abilities. Now you take it in turns, as I understand, to use your dice. So you use a dice, then your opponent uses a dice, and so on and so forth. You can actually buy resources, so you could buy a grey brat, a economic dice, a espionage dice, a political dice, and a military dice. You can't usually buy resource infrastructure dice. Now, to buy dice, you need 4 resource. Now, on your infrastructure dice, you have, if I just bring it up to the camera, 2s, a fair few 2s and a fair few 1s. It's either 2s or 1s on these. So with these 2, if I just zoom in a bit, with these 2 I can buy 1 resource. So I could buy, if I just zoom the camera out a little bit, I could buy a red one. So the dice I've just bought goes in my spent pool, and so does the dice I've just used. Then my opponent goes, then it's up to me again. So what have I got here? I have 3 resource, I have a espionage ability which costs 3, because in the corner, please focus, there we go, in the corner of the dice you'll see a little 3. That's how much resource the dice costs to use. This one, if I just bring it up,